Hi, it's Miss Havisham. I'm here at St Giles Church at Hartington in Derbyshire, just on the Staffordshire border. So I haven't been to this place for 10 years, and before that it was 30 years ago when I actually came, when my father was still alive, and so it does bring some memories. So this is 13th century church. Now, as I know, with the change in the timeline, this means that this date of the church would be classed as 300 if you take off the I or the J, but because of the 1666 All Lost at Sea, then that's when everything started again with what people call the reset. And then I think that was starting from naught, really. It was called 666, but really it was naught. But I think it then went back to 300, or they called it 1300 with the one on the front, but it was 300. You can see those gargoyles at the top again. The stones put in to prevent the soil creep, otherwise this soil would gradually work its way down the hill. So they're all just clustered together, as you can see, and they're put in their really standing stones. They're not really what we think they are, or what we've been led to believe. See the hillside over there? So if this church was from circa 13th century, I would say this begins from the beginning of the present era. And these, I've got a little friend here. Hello. How nice. I've got a feline friend. Oh, hello. Oh, I'm a cat lover, you can see. Now look at this. As here lies the body of John, the son of John, and died 782, aged 7 years and 7 months. The poem under there, so I can't read it at the moment. Of course there's no one buried there. Look at this. Oh my god. Oh, look at that. That is really weird. I'm going to go in the church. So now I'm just going through the door and smell the flowers for the harvest. We are approaching Halloween, which is All Hallows. Very quiet. That's an old painting of how it used to look. Now, the reason why we always get a phoenix-like turn is due to that being the Phoenician bird, because this means that in the church we are actually boarding a ship and the graveyard is the water. And so when we're worshipping Mary, it's the mare is the sea. That's why she's always depicted wearing a blue robe. It's the sea. And this is the church named for Circe, the daughter of Sol Invictus. And Circe was also the queen of the fairies, who spoke of the sea, the perils of the sea, the cruel sea. So everything is maritime. So in regards to the timeline, this is when I think this era started, with when these places were built. And it was not actually as a church, it would be as a temple. It's up there. Oh. This is written in Latin. Why does it have to be written in Latin? So we can't understand it. It's only the wealthy people and the merchants who learnt Latin and also ancient Greek. And ancient Greek was the language of the peoples who came over here and populated everywhere, basically. The sea people, the Phoenicians, who worshipped the sea. To be a tomb somewhere, I can't find it. I can't find the old tomb. Just have another look. Some old paintings on the walls have been discovered. Oh, this is it. This was under the nave and was removed in 1858. Look, I'm not sure where we've got those pebbles on the top, but this is a full length figure. Candles. This is a full length figure. And we don't know who it is, but the headdress is an Egyptian headdress. She's supposed to be holding a heart, but I don't believe it's a heart at all. I don't believe that's a heart. But this was excavated from underneath the nave in 1858. Now it's there. Candles and things on top. How bizarre. Oh, and that piece of glass with the Star of David in the centre, that is thought to be a piece of original glass. It's got the Star of David in the centre, that piece of glass. Wow. can see those pictures up there. Dan shall be a serpent by the way, an adder in the path that biteth the horse heels, so that his rider shall fall backward. That's in Genesis. Oh. So that's to the Goodwin family. Some of those died in Australia. And one person died in 1879 in the 90th year of her age. So they did live very old back then. Possibly living longer myth. I'm going back out. It's quite weird, really. Weird things, plaques on the walls for people up there. These people have got these massive plaques. This number. Oh, my friend's here again. Hello. This number that I keep coming across is number 46. And then 22, that's another one, that's another number. These stones propped up against the wall. Look at this. This is like steps. How weird is that? These are just all together, and it's to stop the soil creeping down. Oh my god. Oh, look at this. Look at this. I've seen one like this before. Oh, look at that. My camera did stop. I have to start it again. Oh, I'm going to get everything in. Oh my god. Why that's like this, I don't know. This is all to stop soil creeping down the hill. Oh my god. There's some shadows. There's some sun. Bright sun as well. I just hope there's no uneven ground. It could be. Is it risky? Oh, it goes right back up there, not going up there. That goes down. Oh my god, that goes down. Look at that, it's falling over. That is tipped over. It's all tipped over. It's falling over. Oh. Oh god. Why is that like that? Tilted over. surrounded by the railings, which I believe at one time were electrified, because this is even attached to the church walls, and it's attached to those buttresses. Look, the buttresses, the railings attached there. So if there is anything inside that would give the electrical current, that would explain it. There's some faces on it here. Very worn away. Look at this. Oh, look at that. And also that one. And a very deep ditch. Deep ditch there. Look at this. It's a very deep ditch. It goes right down. It goes right down. Oh. God. Oh. Holly. Holly. For the holy days. More faces there. Oh. Deep ditch. It's strange that it's dug down so far like that. There's warning sign on some of these stones that they are dangerous and liable to fall over. Flower patterns on the top of the drain pipes. Doors. These steps that go down. I know Dave Evan is interested in these. The steps that go down underneath, and of course that is like going into the bowels of the ship. So every church has a crypt. That is. Even that's like a ship's wheel. The shape of that is like a ship's wheel. You can hear some cows in the background. Lots of farmland around here. That's a door. The door to nowhere. The door to nowhere. Look at these. There's nobody buried there. Oh, look at these. Oh my God. Oh, look at that. Oh. It says 1822 on that big slab. Big slab. And of course, these stones will have been mass produced because many of them are all the same shape. All the same shape like those, standing in a row, like soldiers in a row. But they're all the same shape, just stone slabs. And eventually they can be reclaimed and used as paving stones. Oh, this is all fallen off. You can hear the cows. Very rural around here. Look at this. Door. Oh. That's the clock added circa 1800. No clocks before then. They weren't needed. People used to get up with the sun and go to bed when the sun went down. Look at these. faces. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Now I've been told there's some very old graves around here, older than I've ever seen before. And I'm not sure where they are. So I'm just going to try to find the old graves. Oh, look at this. That's the sundial. And look at that one up above. Now the old graves that have... This person was 96. Departed this life January 29th, 777, preceded by J. So she was born in the 1600s, and this all fits in. That it's after we were all lost at sea, and then people came back and took over the land. Everyone was lost at sea. You can hear the cows. Oh my god, the tractor going down the road. Tractor going down the road. I don't want to miss anything out. You hear them. Look at that. All being broken off. It's all mounded up. It's really strange. So I've been in Miss Havisham at St Giles Church, Hartington.